All right. Hello and welcome to the August 7th Helm Developer Meeting. This is a CNCF project and is governed under the CNCF Code of Conduct. This meeting is being recorded. If you do not want to be recorded, please fall off and watch the recording later. And let's get started. Discussions. Actually, we have no announcements. Anyone have any announcements before I move forward? All right. Karen, you're up for the first discussion. PR support for Helm 4.
Yeah, I just wanted to check in. We have support available to us if we want any PR support for KubeCon. Sorry, yeah, I should add that to the notes. The requirement is that we make our quote unquote announcement at KubeCon. So, I mean, I think we've kind of put it out that already that we're going to, um, I guess, release Helm V4 at KubeCon. So I think the technicality here is just like when the code goes public.
Yeah.
Um, does that that sounds right, right? Like
Yeah.
that said, do we want PR support? And I think what this looks like is like they'll do a press release for us, and then hopefully that gets picked up by whatever media is available at KubeCon. And then I think if I remember correctly, I haven't done this in a little bit, but usually like they give the press kind of like a pre-read of the press release, and then if they want to
Mhm.
do additional stories, then they'll reach out and whatnot. But I just wanted to make sure, like timing wise, that all sounded correct. And if
Yes,
so,
we
Yes.
okay,
want it. That sounds correct. Let's do it.
Yes.
okay. Who
You
should
said
I?
you said PR, and I thought like pull request support. And I'm like, wow. It's like
Um,
Matt and I we've
Public
been
relation.
yeah. So my bad. I was like, what? I was like,
other PR.
yeah. My
Yeah.
brain went to the other side. Um, no, I mean, I don't know who you have to go to answer your question. Matt, is that you? Since you are the release engineer for this, it's your show.
Well, I mean, yeah. Karen, what do you need from us?
Uh, I need a name so that I can add you to the email thread. Is
Go
it
ahead
you?
and add me to it. This is not my first time dealing with PR over with
Yeah.
the Linux Foundation.
Oh,
So if you want to add my name to it,
Okay,
happy
I
to.
will do that. Thank you. That's it for me.
awesome. Thank you, Karen. Mr. Farina, you are up, sir.
All right. So I wanted to talk about the charts V3 stuff that I've been working on. I'm looking at the timetable with the end of the month coming, and I don't think I'm going to get the full thing in by then. This was not meant to fully land and be an available feature, more experimental. So the two roads we have are we can either rip it out, and I don't know if anybody wants that, or what I was thinking is we can take the places in the code where we have to deal with things that would deal with charts. And right now it deals with charts V2, such as the install process, the upgrade process, things like that. Common functionality that's across these things. And we can turn that into interfaces. So then the chart interface gets passed around and you can detect what it is. And then inside those functions, handle things appropriately. And I'm tempted to say, let's go that route because then we set the interface up for it so that work can continue on and we don't have to rip it out. But I wanted to talk to folks because with Code Freeze coming up, my schedule has not been as open as I had planned originally. I know how that goes. And so I wanted to give the option of enabling it or ripping it out and then discussing. So what do y'all think?
Interesting. I wonder if some of the work that like George and I are doing on the plugin system would be relevant to this. It might be worth, Matt, it might be worth taking a little, I mean, we'll have to get reviews on this anyway, like pretty close to immediately, but like I wonder if it would be worth looking at the interfaces that we've set up for that, just because it does a versioning thing that seems to do a lot of what you're saying in a way that
Yeah,
allows
I
it a
mean, I
lot.
can go take a look at what you've done for versioning. This is, now you're getting into implementation detail. I wanted to
Yeah,
talk about just the concept of it because we can take the implementation detail and discuss that asynchronously.
yeah.
But it's the idea of doing it, right? So
Yeah.
you'd have a, chart and you could check its API version, things like that, and you could act
Yep.
on it. But and then of course, if you need to, you can type switch once you know the version of it. You can
Yep.
type switch between those things and do specific things on a chart. inside of functions. But if you have an interface that you pass around, charts v2, charts v3, all of these things, heck, even a potential charts v4, can all work with it as long as they follow the interface. And so that was my thought, especially with things like the actions package, which will receive a chart and then have to go install it, things like that. If we pass around an interface, then we might have to do some shoehorning for some of the future charts if we make massive changes to them. But it's the whole idea, then it becomes possible to enable multiple versions without actually shipping the whole thing right away.
Exactly. My initial reaction is yes, that's how we went. That's how we went about the plugin thing, without getting into too many implementation details at a high level. I like the interface idea. It seems to in kind of going through a lot of the practice of it and making it work, it seemed to work very well. Yeah, and it's opened up some things too for even like updating some of the other packages that have like current hard-coded, well, not hard-coded, but current assumptions. So I agree. That would be a good way to go.
Okay. Then we'll continue down that path this month and try and get as many of the interfaces and everything in. And then we may not make the feature freeze for it, but we'll have enabled the ability to do it in a feature release coming up.
Great.
All right.
Awesome.
So is the idea, just in short, I think the idea, I know I believe we'd still have time during the hardening period between the end of August and the full release to make backwards incompatible changes.
Yeah, but
up
that's
until
bug
that
fix and hardening at that point. At that point,
Right.
like if I'm
Right.
working on it, I'm going to the .0 release won't have additional work on it. I will save that work in branches
Yeah.
for the .1 release because or the .2 or the .3 release to continue to add to it. Because once we get it out, we want this in people's hands. And if we're constantly
Yes.
changing things beyond bug fixes after you get to the
Exactly.
feature freeze, then you're taking instability out there. And the thing you don't want is Helm 4 to go out and be unstable. We've got to kind of switch into documenting a lot because there's a ton we need to document. And then actually testing it in all kinds of random scenarios and normal everyday use. Because if we're not testing it and others aren't testing it, but we're working on a bunch of code changes, that's going to lead to instability at release time. And we want
Exactly.
stability when we go release this at KubeCon because a bunch of people are going to pull it down and try it there. And we don't want them to have a crappy experience because they will be able to physically find us.
Right. And exactly. And that's a
not
funny way to
fun.
put it. And that was the point behind my question, is that ideally, even though it's not a strict requirement, ideally we want our interfaces and our public functions for that work to be as complete as possible by the pre-release.
The way
Yeah,
I
we want
described
all
it
of that
is
work done before we go to feature freeze. Yes.
Yeah.
we'd
Which
only
is
be
weeks away.
changing interfaces because we're fixing a bug, not because we're
Yeah.
adding new features.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. And anyone else on this topic? Let's move on. Ingy.
Yeah, I got a couple things. Pretty exciting stuff. So I'll start with GoYAML. So it's been merged into Helm a couple of weeks ago, I guess. I'm not sure who pushed that through, but that's great. It's been merged into, so Kate's SIG's YAML has completely, it used to be, they had all the code from GoYAML inside of it, and they've actually removed all that code, and now they just use it. So it's just a thin wrapper around the GoYAML, and it's been merged into Kubernetes for the next release. I ran some stats yesterday, and these are, see if I'll paste them into the chat here. So it's kind of cool that we didn't take over. It's rolling out organically, which I really like. So 86 repos, like non-fork repos, have switched to from Gustavo's YAML to the YAML, GoYAML, and like 51,000 repos potentially. Wait, yeah, using the old one. Oh, so yeah, so the first two are direct usage, and the other ones are indirect usage. So like a third of a million repos will be. I don't know. Anyway, I thought those were interesting. If there's any search experts, you can see if I did it wrong, but I spent like half an hour like refining those searches to be accurate. So that's Go YAML. Oh, and V4 release candidate 1 went out yesterday. So, you know, like V3 will stay the same, and new stuff going on V3, V4, and it's moving together, moving along slowly but steadily. It's a good team. I like it. And then in relation to Helmwise and YAML script and that kind of stuff, a lot of new possibilities have opened up that might actually, you know, so I think that I'm going to be able to, by the end of the year, compile YAML script, the compiler, the whole thing to Go, because I was thinking at last KubeCon in London, I'm like, you know, Closure is, and this GraalVM and that whole thing is in the Java, is just a bad fit for the Kubernetes space. I really need Closure to be running in Go. And then 2 weeks ago, I was like falling asleep and I'm like, what a great name, Glosure. That would be a really great name. And I was like, so I just Googled it really quick, and there was a well along project called Glosure, and I joined that guy, and I'm fixing bugs in it. And yeah, so pretty amazing. So the gist of that is, once it's in Go, and there's also one that compiles to C++. Both of these can compile to WASM. There's like, or through nodes. There's lots of ways to get this into WASM. So we could fit Helmwise in if the WASM plugin system is working that way, or we can talk about getting a minimal static or even Closure code. If Helmwise became popular and it wanted to go directly into Helm as Go code, that would be a possibility. So what's good for me is I'm not gated on the Helm 4 release process. It doesn't seem at all. You know, which means I can concentrate on making it good and not just like getting it in last minute. So I'm really happy about that. So if there's any questions, go ahead and ask. But other than that, that's what I got.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and actually, I would like to, Scott, if you have time, like we talked yesterday, but like I would like to work through just the possibilities of different ways that it could get into Helm. So ping me later. Sorry, back to you.
I think I have one note on that. I don't know if it's even really a question because we've already discussed it before.
Yeah.
With you, Farina, too, about around the release manager side for Helm 4. Since the engine would relate to Helm Charts V3, I think, am I right in this? I believe I'm right in this thinking that if we add if we add whatever interfaces we need for I mean, actually, we may not. Never mind. We may not actually need this. All I was thinking is that it's really tied mainly to the Charts v3 schedule, not the Helm 4 release schedule, because the engine wouldn't be applicable to the V2 charts anyway.
Correct. So it would be a Charts V3 thing, and we can handle it in there, and that will be able to change afterwards because it'll be an experimental technology. Ingi, you weren't around when we did OCI, and we did it as an experiment, but you had to set an environment variable to even turn it on. And then over time, it did make breaking changes until we brought it out GA, and we kept all the work internal. So we could make those interface changes without affecting the public API. And then we took it out of internal and put it into the package directory when we did make it public and ready to go. And I expect the same kind of thing here, which is why I've kind of structured the code the way that I did. So, yeah.
Cool.
Good.
Awesome. Okay. Does anyone else have? Oh, hold on. Yep, George, you have PRs, which are not press release, but pull requests. You have a few of them listed here, 38, 33, 39, 80, and then 30, 10, 30. I can link these into the chat. I think he's looking for maintainers to check these out. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, please. Two of them are cleanups. One is the first chunk of work for server-side apply.
Okay.
Review will be much appreciated.
I will put them in my Helm afternoon, probably today or tomorrow, to knock that out, to get some eyes on it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. HIP reviews. Anybody? Shout outs. Social media amplification. All right. Well, let's respect everyone's time and get ready for assignments for next call. Do I have someone who wants to do moderator? Scott, George, Matt?
I'll sit my name down and hopefully I don't take the wrong train. Sorry. Seconds
Yeah.
locked.
Double checking. I can do notes.
Okay. Scott, thank you very much. For issue triage, would I assume that it's going to be Terry, Evans, myself, core maintainers? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty time crunched at the moment, but I'll try and do what I can. Sorry, probably didn't do that.
We appreciate it, George. I'll put myself down for PRs and core maintainers for next call. Myself, George, Scott. Who else? Matt, you gonna be here?
Yeah, I should be here.
Okay.
Joe?
Is he on the call? Sorry.
Yeah, I came in late, but yeah, should be.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Anyone have anything else, or we can give a few minutes back and respect everyone's time?
Yeah, just good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Good to see you too. Nice haircut.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.